Alright guys, new day, new me. This is stage 4, patience. The most difficult part about stage 4 is not just waiting and expecting things to happen. This is not a journey about you. As much as I want to say it is to enlighten you, it also is not a journey for you. This is a journey towards your enlightenment. When you're focusing on each of the stages, a lot of this is to help you as a person, but this is also to help the people around you, because whatever feeling that you are having at that moment is what you are going to be projecting outwardly. So as long as you keep projecting outwardly that you're working on yourself, at some point it's good, but then you're being very selfish. It's only about you. Now we have to start thinking about the other souls that we coexist with. The patience aspect is really you reap what you sow. So if I'm starting a plant and I choose not to water it every single day, and if I choose to just ignore it for maybe a few days out of that, then eventually I run into the problem of reaping a reward that is lesser than my full potential. Now, if I kept my full potential every single day, then eventually your plant is going to be enormous, bright, and beautiful. But if you forget to water it on a consistent basis, eventually you're going to have a plant that flops. And I like to use plants as a metaphor because the plants are not us. The plants are a reflection of the work that we put into them. So if you put a very great amount of work, you are getting a great amount of reap. But if you are putting no worth into it and you're not really thinking of anybody besides yourself and your feelings and your needs, then eventually your plant will die. It's so simple. It doesn't matter how much work you put into yourself. If for some reason you're not putting that equivalent work outwardly and expressing it and just emanating that energy, then you will not get the reward that you are seeking. Yes, you're helping yourself, but when you help yourself, that has to correlate outwardly. Otherwise, you're just egotistical. You only care about yourself. And that's the whole point of trying to escape this. It's not just to care about you and your mental state, but it's also to care about the mental state and the well-being of everything else. This whole world is connected, whether you like it or not. We are all on the same vibrational plane, except some people can talk and communicate. Other things just lay stagnant and still living. Like, look at my homie right there. He's chilling. He lied. You need to remember the idea that everything that you do needs to... You don't deserve anything in this world, realistically. You don't deserve anything. That just because you work on yourself doesn't mean that you deserve a reward. That's just because you help this one person cross the street. Well, what does that mean? Now, when you become self-righteous and really... When you're thinking of other people's energy, eventually what you reap is what you sow. So eventually that can either correlate to money, love, gifts, anything. But realistically, if you have the intention of getting that, you're going to get the exact opposite. And that's not what we're going for. All in all, the main takeaway of this is you need to be patient with how you treat yourself. If for some reason you're doing everything for everybody else and you're also giving yourself that same self-love and you're projecting that energy, then eventually you're sowing the seeds that eventually will come back for you. People are going to recognize you and be like, whoa, that person used to help me like all the time. Hell yeah, I'm definitely down to help that. Versus that person that, you decided you wanted to be quiet to. You didn't really want to talk to him. And now he became famous, and then look at you being left behind. When you could have reaped that reward. But you didn't want to because your energy was not strong enough to go and help somebody else. And sometimes you can't have that. Sometimes you really need to have that energy so that way it can manifest itself into something. Half the time to me, when I'm walking through a field, I'm not looking at the grass. More so, there's a bunch of grass all over the place. But don't notice how your eye will always attract itself to that one shiny thing or that one flower that just so happened to grow in the middle of that field. That just one thing that stuck out. People are going to recognize that more. And that's kind of what you want. You want to be that plant that sticks out. And you know what? Sometimes you may think that energy doesn't correlate anything but bad. That's not true. You don't know that. And the more you keep looking into the future, you escape the sowing the seeds in the present. You cannot just envision what that plant's going to be at the end. You gotta envision it in the moment and then treat it as if that's what you're going for. If not, you're gonna get what you asked for. Wavy, y'all. I'll see y'all on stage 5.